Hello viewers, welcome to Seek Wisdom. We have been hearing since childhood that we should read books. If we want to develop ourselves, we should read books. Even if we look at the various millionaires, billionaires, successful entrepreneurs, they all have a common habit of reading. So the question arises, and that is our today's topic also: why reading is so much important. Why should we read books? Let us look at the various reasons for this. 1. Reading is good for your brain. In words of Joseph Addison, reading is to the mind what exercise is to the body. Studies have shown that staying mentally stimulated can slow the progress of Alzheimer's and dementia, since keeping your brain active and engaged prevents it from losing power. 2. Stress reduction. A well-written novel can transport you to other realms, while an engaging article will distract you and keep you in the present moment, letting tensions drain away and allowing you to relax. Reading is a mini vacation for your brain. 3. Knowledge. Reading can teach you historical politics, customs, cultures, economics, and intellect. Everything you read fills your head with new bits of information, and you never know when it might come in handy. The more knowledge you have, the better equipped you are to tackle any challenge you'll ever face. 4. People who read books live longer. That's according to Yale researchers who studied 3,635 people older than 50 and found that those who read books for 30 minutes daily lived an average of 23 months longer than non-readers or magazine readers. Apparently, the practice of reading books creates cognitive engagement that improves lots of things, including vocabulary, thinking skills, and concentration. It also can affect empathy, social perception, and emotional intelligence, the sum of which helps people stay on the planet longer. 5. Reading improves your self-discipline and consistency. In our internet-crazed world, attention is drawn in a million different directions at once as we multitask through every day. In a single 5-minute span, the average person will divide their time between working on a task, checking email, chatting with a couple of people, keeping an eye on Twitter, monitoring their smartphone, and interacting with coworkers. This type of behavior causes stress levels to rise, and lowers our productivity. Reading a book, unlike skimming a web page, forces you to focus. To get the most out of a story, you must fixate on the plot and complete the book. In doing this, your brain forms deep connections and practices concentration. 6. Paradigm shift. When we read a book, we feel a change in our paradigm. Our perspective changes. I will explain this with an example of some books. First example is the famous book on financial knowledge by Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. After reading this book, we look each things from the viewpoint of an asset or a liability. Another great book, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. After reading this book, the chaotic mind does not disturb you forever, rather you start observing its movement. Another great book by two renowned spiritual leaders, His Holiness the Dalai Lama and Archbishop Desmond Tutu. The name is The Book of Joy. This changes our definition of joy, the everlasting joy. After reading this, we don't look for joy in material things. 7. Tranquility. In addition to the relaxation that accompanies reading a good book, it's possible that the subject you read about can bring about immense inner peace and tranquility. Reading spiritual texts can lower blood pressure and bring about an immense sense of calm, while reading self-help books has been shown to help people suffering from certain mood disorders and mild mental illnesses. Since there are so many advantages, so let's get started. Here are some tips that will help you to develop this habit. 1. Set times. You should have a few set times during every day when you'll read for at least 5-10 minutes. These are times that you will read no matter what triggers that happen each day. For example, make it a habit to read during breakfast and lunch, and even dinner if you eat alone. And if you also read every time you're sitting on the can, and when you go to bed, You now have 4 times a day when you read for 10 minutes each or 40 minutes a day. That's a great start, and by itself would be an excellent daily reading habit. But there's more you can do. 2. Reduce television internet. If you really want to read more, try cutting back on TV or internet consumption. This may be difficult for many people. Still, every minute you reduce of internet TV, you could use for reading. This could create hours of book reading time. 3. Make it pleasurable. Make your reading time your favorite time of day. Have some good tea or coffee while you read, or another kind of treat. Get into a comfortable chair with a good blanket. Read during sunrise or sunset, or at the beach. 4. Set a high goal. Tell yourself that you want to read 50 books this year or some other number like that. Then set about trying to accomplish it. Just be sure you're still enjoying the reading though, don't make it a rushed chore. So, start reading books and make it your daily habit. Please subscribe this channel for videos related to books, book summaries and more. Bonus tip, you want a summary of a book, put the title of the book in comments.